Assassin's Creed Shadows. If you haven't played it yet, you're not really missing out on much for the Assassin's Creed series. But I'll give you a little bit of a review about it in this video regarding all the Assassin's Creed games and what it led up to Assassin's Creed Shadow according to Ubisoft, and how the story does not make any fucking sense for any of the games that you play. Before I get into my quick review about Assassin's Creed Shadow, we're going to go through some of the main trilogy games and some of the games that were like a little bit of spin-offs that kind of don't really correlate to how the whole Assassin's Creed story is at all. And the first game we are going to start with is the OG Assassin's Creed for the PS3 and also the Xbox and PC and whatever other console you may want to play on it. So Assassin's Creed 1, this is the OG game, probably one of the biggest games that defined the Xbox 360 as well as the PS3. And this game for the PS3, if you do not know, if you don't have a copy of it, it was one of the few games that did not actually have a trophy system yet because it came in at a later time earlier on, so they actually didn't update this game with any trophies. You play it on the 360 or you play like the updated version of it, which is like on the Series X because it's backwards compatible, you'll get the achievements for it as well. So Assassin's Creed, basically it takes place, you've dedicated your life to studying the arts of deadly assassinations, but basically you play as a guy who is currently a bartender in New York, gets kidnapped by this company. This company wants his bloodlines to figure out like how to stop all the assassins from living, but that's pretty much the whole premise of what Assassin's Creed is. I'm not gonna go super in depth because you've probably seen 100 videos of it. This one though is one of my favorite games. It's pretty hard if you've never played like a game like this back in the day. At the time it came out, it was pretty difficult. It's not hard. I meant to say like it's not hard playing it now, but it's a really good game. Definitely check it out. But this is like the first one iteration of the whole series of Assassin's Creed, which makes a lot more sense as compared to when we get later on. So after Assassin's Creed released, during that two-year period, we actually had Assassin's Creed Bloodlines that was released, and it was a PSP game. And we also had Assassin's Creed Altair's Chronicles, which was like a DS game, PC. It was also, I believe, an iOS and Android game as well. And then we had Bloodlines that came out, and Bloodlines was basically just like another storyline. It's like you go to Crepus to dispose of remaining Templars, and like you're playing as it's pretty much like a portable version of Assassin's Creed. And yeah, you know, this one wasn't that bad if you ever played it. It's not bad. It's, you know, it's a little difficult playing PSP games if you don't have like a great working PSP. Really good game though. Definitely correlated with more of the story. Then Assassin's Creed 2 came out for the PS3 and the Xbox as well. And this is where you play as Ezio, and you're in Italy, basically, Venice, and a bunch of other, Florence, and a bunch of other parts of Italy. So basically, in my opinion, if you ever played any Assassin's Creed games, this is probably like the best one. This one came out for the PS3, Xbox 360, I was mentioning before. But what was stupid about this time, they had like all different copies of it. So there's a GameStop edition that came out with like, you know, just a bunch of other DLCs, bonus content, extra missions for the game, which was fucking annoying during this time period of gaming. Especially the same thing for like the 360, maybe something might have been a little bit different. As well as you see the casings all change up a little bit. There's like a regular case for it, and then there's a platinum case for it. And it was like, oh, it doesn't matter, but it's like, it makes it look different when you have it on a shelf, right? And then after this time period, the gameplay and style still made sense. And then we had Assassin's Creed come out. Assassin's Creed 3, which if you have not played, came out, Assassin's Creed 3 came out later. It came after Revelations, and it came after Brotherhood. So Brotherhood was another iteration as well as Revelations. So these are just like, they were part of the main storyline, but they were kind of like broken off paths a little bit, and it got a little bit more confusing, but it's still all lined up with like the whole main story's premise and what exactly was going on within these two games. So basically, Brotherhood, which is this one right here, plays Ezio again and other characters. So this is part of like the third installment in the Ezio trilogy as per se. And it follows still Desmond Miles' character, as I was mentioning before from the first one. We're not going to go too in depth about it, but like I said, the whole premise of Assassin's Creed is trying to stop the world from ending, right? But now this whole one was like same style, you play as Ezio, blah, 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 right? Okay, cool beans. But this one was when they started to integrate the multiplayer into like the online networking aspect of Assassin's Creed games, which they have not yet. So this one, a lot of people felt this is one of the best Assassin's Creed ever made. I agree with it. It's really phenomenal. And basically it takes place like you trying to toss the Templars again, but now you get to play as like little different iterations and like storylines and lining up with like how the whole Brotherhood of Assassins are. Then after this one, we go into Assassin's Creed Revelations. Again, another spin-off kind of I'm not, like I said, we're not going to go super in depth about the game story, but like this one was interesting because like this was another spin-off. It kind of kept around like the whole storyline and what was going on. Not too confusing. Apple eating, they're trying to find, you know. What's interesting about this copy of the game though is that it comes with actually a copy of Assassin's Creed on the disc itself. So depending on the Blu-ray copy that you get, because if you look at my old copy of Assassin's Creed, gotta find which one it is. I believe it's this one. No, it's not this one. There's a copy of Assassin's Creed if you pick it up. I believe it's my Revelations copy. Was it this one? Well, on this disc, it should have a copy of Assassin's Creed, the first one. So it's like combined on 2 discs on it itself. So you get to play the first one again. But then after Assassin's Creed Revelations, this is when we actually went into Assassin's Creed 3. So Assassin's Creed 3 is basically the trilogy which made the whole thing, like the whole main story, like kind of like finish up with Desmond's storyline. So basically this one is about Desmond's, like he's using the machine known as the Omnius like before, but now he goes back into colonial America like sort of during like the Revolutionary War, which is a pretty cool concept for a story. If you have not played this one is a really good game. And if depending on the PS3, they had 4 exclusive like missions that were on it that were not on the actual Xbox 360 copy of the game, which I think at this time period was kind of stupid because now they just make complete editions of games. You know how that goes and everything just combined it into one series of games, but I digress. But basically this one is like past after like Revelations and all that stuff. It's like this first civilization, the Grand Temple and all this stuff going on, and they're trying to figure out like his another plot line with the whole story, you know. And this is basically the end of Connor's journey, and then this is where we have the whole introduction into Assassin's Creed 4. Spoiler, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, phenomenal game if you have not played it. It's currently on the PS3, Xbox, and PS4. Desmond's dead now. He sacrificed his life. Stupid for the storyline, if you ask me. I know everybody's like, oh, well, it was good. No, personally, I didn't like how they ended the whole Assassin's Creed 4, whatever, ending. But what's interesting about this copy for the PS3, though, is that if you bought this copy, I'm just going to show you this is a used copy, it doesn't even matter. They actually let you get a free digital version of Assassin's Creed 4 on your PS4, which they don't do a lot anymore. And unfortunately, now you got to pay like $10 or extra money. But this was like that time period when the PS3 was coming out and stuff, though. Basically, this game you play as a different character. You don't play as Desmond anymore, and like things are just going haywire. And you're trying to figure out, stop the Templars. You know, the whole Assassin's Creed. Oh God, we gotta stop them and fight. Same concept again. But now it's just like the gameplay and the storyline is really good too. But Desmond's dead, so it's like it's like whatever. So Assassin's Creed Rogue was one of like the final stories for the North American saga, because that's when after this they went into Origins, Valhalla, and then we go into Japan, which is currently the new game. So basically this game takes place during the French and Indian War, and it's another like kind of like spin-off with the story, but now in this one it's basically 18th century, right? And you play as a Shay Patrick Comrick, a fearless young member of the Assassins, then he's trying to like, you know, build the creed and stuff. I felt after this one though, when they went into Assassin's Creed, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, Mirage, I felt that's where the story kind of went all over the place and it started to make no sense, because depending on the YouTube videos you watch or kind of like the lore that you read, it gets so confusing and it makes no sense after the first like 5 games that like came out. But then this leads us into Assassin's Creed Shadow, which I'm going to give you a very brief and honest review about how I feel about it compared to like all the games I played so far in the whole series. The most recent ones I have not finished were Valhalla and Mirage and like Odyssey. Those I kind of just like, I'm going to get back into them, but right now I'm kind of just focusing on Shadows. Is Shadows a game you should play? Yes, it's a fun Assassin's Creed game. Is it a game you should pay full price for? Hell no. Ubisoft kind of half-assed it with some of the points, and there's like a lot of stupid repetitiveness in this game. I also feel this kind of stemmed away from like what originally Assassin's Creed is, and I feel the story makes absolutely no fucking sense whatever. They have this like hub system in the Omnius. If you go in and log in and download the game, it has like Valhalla, Mirage, and you can play like different, you know, eras of like where the Assassin's Creed games were. They don't have the original 3. They don't have any other games. They have like the more modern ones like Origins, Valhalla, and all the other ones like Odyssey and Mirage, and obviously Shadows. So you have digital copies that kind of like links up with your Ubisoft account within that whole system of like how it presents. So I've currently been playing on the PS5. Like I said, it's not a bad game. It's average. Would I recommend people playing it? Yes, I feel the whole concept of like the whole Japanese style of the game and playing 2 different characters is pretty cool. I just feel the story is very strung out because like the first almost like 3 hours of me playing it is a lot of cutscenes, kind of me jumping around, getting oriented. They always, I feel Ubisoft now recently has been just adding a shitload of like customizations. I feel like all games are doing that now in these big open worlds. Like, yeah, we need to invest you in staying, into playing this game forever, blah, 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 blah. I think it's really annoying. I kind of just stay primarily on the main task. That's why I didn't get like the, you know, the gold editions or the limited editions that Ubisoft always releases. I feel like their whole like concept of like how these games are now, especially since like Far Cry 5, 6, and just like onwards, the same thing with like any of the Assassin's Creed games and even like the Ghost Recon games. They try to make you get into this big open world and they go away from the story primarily, and the gameplay is not the best. Don't get me wrong, the fighting in the game is not bad, it's good, but I feel that what they are trying to do is they're trying to make this whole unique thing, like every game that we make, this is the biggest, baddest game that we're ever gonna do. And that's where I worry, like if you have games coming out like Splinter Cell maybe in the future, like a remake or whatever they may be doing, because they just keep teasing us about nothing with that game. I feel like something like that is not gonna be sufficing the whole goal of what the company should be doing. And they also, like, I think almost went bankrupt like trying to make this game, because they also delayed it like 2 or 3 times. I have to say though, getting it the first week and playing it, it was fine. There's some things that annoy me still, like especially if you've been in playing the game for hours and on end, as I have with this game. They added like a lot of, you know, instructional tutorials, which are nice. But then it's every 5 seconds, even after you get through sections, there's a lot of pop-ups and like errors in the game, I've noticed especially. And I feel like they kind of like half-ass a lot of the things too. And what annoys the shit out of me, and I know in-game purchases is annoying as hell, and it's on here and it says it's explicit, you can like buy like extra clothes. Like, I like the whole concept of when I used to actually like play games, and I used to kind of like do the whole grinding period, like, all right, let me grind, get the gear in the game. Not having to like buy it, like I don't want to spend $10. Like, don't get me wrong, like Call of Duty, I've done that before, but I shouldn't be having to do it with like a single player game like this. And this game does not have any multiplayer either. I think some rumors it was supposed to, but I couldn't find that much information on it. And also, just like let you know, the main series of Assassin's Creed, they split up now into 3 periods. So there's period 1, which is Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, Black Flag, Rogue, Unity, and Syndicate. Then it goes into period 2, because that was all pretty much like North America's saga, and then England and wherever else it was at, like London style. Then period 2 is Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, Mirage. Now, period 3 is the start of this. So I don't know what they're going to be doing from following this though, but we will see. Because I feel if they're in Japan right now, I hope one day we can get like more of a modern Assassin's Creed game, like maybe like 80s, 90s, or 70s style. It'd be pretty cool, but you know, we can only hope, especially how Ubisoft is doing shit now. I do feel though that they are probably going to rebrand like how the whole storyline is, because this story does not make sense in the game at all. It's like, it makes sense for like the era, but it does not make sense like in regards to anything for the past like 5 Assassin's Creed game. I feel like after Syndicate, like everything just went downhill from like where we've stemmed from, like originally was Assassin's Creed was, with like the whole Atom of like the what was it called, the Apple of Eden or whatever. I feel this is just like goes out of the park with that though. I do suggest you play it. Don't play it now. I mean, like, don't pay for it. Don't pay full price. If you do that Ubisoft like thing, I think that's a good idea. But if you can rent this, borrow it from a friend, I think it's worth it. Just playing like a one quick through the game. I'm almost through it, but at the same time, I feel they just really don't care about Assassin's Creed anymore. I feel they don't give it the love and nature and like nurturing that it deserves, especially after the first 3 games. I feel like Ubisoft is just like a money-hungry company now, and they're trying to compete with like all these other big companies. But that's pretty much the end of my rant. Let me know what you feel about it in the comments below. And if you guys want me to do a more in-depth video about all the Assassin's Creed games, I can do that. But I'm currently going to play Shadows again, like finish it up, like the whole main storyline. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of it, and I'm probably going to start hitting back into the original Assassin's Creed games, because you know they brought, like, I remember like playing the second and third one primarily, and the other ones too, but I don't remember all of them in depth, and I feel like I kind of want to get back into the lore of actually playing any of the Assassin's Creed games. But definitely, if you have never played any of these games right now, they are so dirt cheap. They are so cheap. Like, I've been buying copies of them, like because I didn't have the whole collection, $2 or $3 for like copies of it, $8 like completed. Mind you, there's also different like, you know, casing and variants for it, which I kind of like with if I'm collecting a game series, especially like Assassin's Creed. especially probably one of the biggest games that came out. There's like GameStop editions I was mentioning before, Ubisoft collector's editions, and cases. And also, in my opinion, like I said, Assassin's Creed 2 is one of my favorite games. I highly recommend, if you have never played Assassin's Creed or really want to get into it, Assassin's Creed 2 is definitely. And I believe they have this currently on the PS4 that you can play it too with the Ezio Trilogy. But guys, thank you very much for watching my videos. Please like, subscribe, and if you have any questions or further comments, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you want me to talk about. So take care, guys, and also check out the Switch 2 is coming out soon. Take care, bye.